Alright YouTube, so this is kind of weird. This is my very first wrestling video, my very first WWE video I've ever done on the channel, but for some reason I felt like doing this. I'm so hyped for the Royal Rumble this year that I kind of just wanted to talk about it, maybe do a little bit of predictions, wish list, whatever you want to call this. Now, I am recording this the Sunday before Rumble, so we still have a Raw and a SmackDown before the Rumble actually airs, so things may change, we may get more info, stuff like that, but I just kind of wanted to record this now. First, we'll run through the matches we know of so far, and then we'll do the Rumble stuff at the end. I'm mostly excited for this. Like some of the main card matches and stuff are good, but it's really about the Rumble this year. I mean, obviously it is every year. This is like probably the most popular, the most hyped pay-per-view every year. Mania is great, WrestleMania is always good, but this is probably the most fun pay-per-view there is every year because it's surprise returns and all kinds of crazy stuff can happen during the Rumble. Not entirely sure what the match order actually is, but we'll start with Neville versus Rich Swann for the Cruiserweight title. And to me, I think Neville has to win this one because Rich Swann was kind of fun for the first week or two because he's a very charismatic guy. He's damn good in the ring. All the Cruiserweights really are. But he's kind of stale now. His character is just kind of boring. Whereas Neville exploded back with his return and has just kind of took control of the Cruiserweight division. He's far more entertaining than any of them. He's aggressive. He's got character. He also has a history because he was on the main card before he got injured. Whereas, we got all these Cruiserweights coming in, other than Tajiri and a few others and the Brian Kendrick that we don't know anything about. We don't know anything about these guys. Whereas Neville, we've kind of known what he's been doing for a couple years now, but he's come back as a bad guy, which is, I think it's what he was on NXT, and he kind of deserves it. He's probably the best thing the Cruiserweight division has right now. Next, we have Charlotte Flair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's title. And I don't see Charlotte Flair losing her pay-per-view streak just yet. I think that's probably a lot of people in the wrestling community think that's going to happen at Mania. It makes a little more sense if it even breaks at all. But I think Bayley's going to lose. She's great. I don't know. They've been doing her kind of weird on Raw, where she's lost a lot of her matches. She's won here and there. She beat Dana Brooke 3 or 4 times. She beat Nia Jax with a distraction from Sasha Banks. But I don't think she's going to break. Royal Rumble's kind of a weird place. It is one of the big 4 pay-per-views, but it seems like a weird place to break Charlotte's pay-per-view record. If it ever breaks again, I don't know if it ever will. If that's going to happen, most people think it's going to lead on to Mania, where we're going to either have a triple threat with Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley, or the 4 Horsewomen, which has Becky Lynch involved as well, which is kind of weird because she's on SmackDown. All 3 of the other participants, all the other 3 women are on Raw. So WrestleMania is kind of a convergence of both brands, so it could possibly happen. Speaking of SmackDown, I don't know what's up with their women's title. Last week, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch fought in a steel cage for the title, and Mickie James debuted and kind of got involved, so I'm guessing Mickie James and Becky Lynch are going to have a match either this week on SmackDown, or maybe it'll be at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I feel like most pay-per-views, especially one of the big 4, all the titles should be defended. So we don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully we see something. Next is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Now, this one's kind of a tough one because if you watch wrestling regularly, Roman Reigns is getting that push here and there. They definitely want him to be the main guy, the new John Cena, whatever the case. And he just recently lost his United States Championship. So it's very possible that he could beat Kevin Owens for the title. Now, if I had to give my prediction is that he won't. I think Kevin Owens is going to win. Kevin Owens has had kind of a weird run. I couldn't even tell you how many times he's defended the title since he's got it, because it just seems like he kind of hasn't. He's been kind of a weird champion. The WWE knows that the fans don't want Roman Reigns. He gets kind of that polarized 50-50, whatever, cheers, boos. But I don't know, Roman just came off of a United States Championship run. It'd be kind of weird for him to win the title already. But that being said, if he did, he's kind of a better champion, better wrestler right now than Kevin Owens is. Not that he's more talented than Kevin Owens, but they build him as a better wrestler. So I could see the match going either way, but my vote is for Kevin Owens. Next, we have John Cena versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's what it's called these days. And this one can kind of go either way, with kind of like the previous title match, because of recent rumors. It has to do with the Royal Rumble match. The rumor used to be that Undertaker was going to win the Royal Rumble, Cena was going to win the title from AJ, and then Undertaker and Cena would face at Mania for the title. Undertaker might win, get a final title run, or get a final title and retire, whatever. But apparently that's off the board now. Apparently Undertaker's supposed to wrestle somebody from Raw. So with that rumor being pretty out there, I think that John Cena is probably not going to win this one. I think AJ Styles, they've done a good job of booking AJ Styles since he debuted. One of the few guys that they've brought in fresh to the company and treat him right. And I could see him, he debuted last year's Rumble. I could see him defending his title successfully at this year's Rumble. I don't know. It's kind of up there. It's almost 50-50 these days. I don't know. A couple matches that might happen. We could see Sheamus and Cesaro defend their titles against the Club. Last week on Raw, the Club kind of got screwed out of their title match because the ref forfeited the match because he got hit. So either if the club doesn't get a rematch this week on Raw, I could see them potentially having a match on Rumble. Multiple times on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, you'll see people that have a match, but they'll also be in the Rumble. We know that Sheamus and Cesaro in the Rumble, so it could potentially happen on it. And in the same regard, we could see the tag team titles from SmackDown defended. We don't know anything about them. It's kind of weird that there's so many titles not being defended, or at least not confirmed yet. But the American Alpha, they won it from the Wyatts a couple weeks back, like last SmackDown pay-per-view. And every time when they won it and when they've defended it successfully, it's never been clean. It's always because Luke Harper fucks with Orton and it fucks up the match and they end up losing because of that. So I could see the Wyatts get another title shot at the pay-per-view. If not the Wyatts, I don't even know who. Maybe the Usos, they're a heel tag team. I'm not sure. And on to the main event. Now, first off, the confirmed wrestlers as of right now, this is of course before Raw and SmackDown air this week. We know of Goldberg, Lesnar, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins, The Undertaker, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper. Now, I'm sure there'll be more people added, plus they're going to save some surprise entrants, so we won't know all 30, which is kind of weird. We're actually going into this Rumble not knowing a whole lot about who's going to be in it, which is actually a really, really good thing. We could have returns, debuts, all kinds of crazy stuff. I expect to see probably American Alpha in there. If they're not going to defend their titles, I mean, they got Sheamus and Cesaro in there, who are the Raw Tag Champs, so why not have the SmackDown Tag Champs? Maybe they could all four be in the ring at the same time, have the stare down, start kicking each other's ass. The crowd would pop like crazy for that. It'd be entertaining as fuck. First up for the predictions would be Triple H screwing Seth Rollins somehow, whether he be actually in the match itself or not. I don't know. Maybe he'll just come running out and fuck up Seth Rollins. But we haven't heard or seen Triple H since the brand split and he came out, like Finn Balor got injured, they had the match for the title, and he screwed Seth Rollins and made Kevin Owens the champion. So it's been so long, been like half a year or more now at this point. So we haven't heard or seen anything about that. So hopefully we get to see the return of Triple H in some capacity. I'd prefer him to be in the Rumble. He won it last year, so hopefully he doesn't like bury every participant and win it again. But I'd like to see him in the match itself and maybe they take each other out or something. I don't know. Next up is a kind of fast one, but it's Ty Dillinger coming in at number 10. That's pretty much like one of the biggest rumors of Royal Rumble. And I don't know a lot about Ty Dillinger or NXT. I don't have the network, so I can't ever watch NXT. But I could see this happening. It's just, he's so popular, the number 10 is literally his gimmick. So it could happen. He would probably, I don't even know how good he would do in the Rumble. I doubt he would even come close to winning it. But it'd be a huge pop if he came out. Another quick NXT one is I just want to hear Bobby Roode's theme song hit during the Rumble and just hear the crowd pop and start cheering along with the theme. It would be a great entrance. It'd be a glorious entrance, if I dare say that. He is going to be fighting for Shinsuke Nakamura for the title the night before at NXT TakeOver, so that kind of lessens the odds of this happening, but I just think it'd be glorious. This one was pretty cool. I heard this on a YouTube video the other day. I wish I could credit it. I don't remember where I seen it at, but it's a genius idea. Everybody wants Daniel Bryan to have one more match, at least one more match, or they want to come back in general, but have one more match. And the idea that I heard was that Daniel Bryan's music hits, but Miz comes out to it because of their kind of feud have been going on for months now. And this would get Miz so much fucking heat from the crowd. He would get the shit booed out of him. People might start throwing shit. I don't know, because everybody loves Daniel Bryan. But I would laugh my ass off. It's a genius fucking idea. If WWE doesn't see the video that I seen, they see this video somehow, do this shit. It'll be fucking amazing. This week on SmackDown, we're getting Orton versus Luke Harper so they can blow off some steam, get that kind of, get that shit behind them. If it doesn't happen this week on SmackDown, I think during the Rumble match itself, we'll see some actual dissension between the Wyatts. Again, if it doesn't happen on SmackDown, I think it'll happen in there. Maybe Luke Harper eliminates Orton, because that'd be a shock. That'd be good for Luke Harper. He kind of needs that boost. As much as I'd love Orton to win it all or something, because Orton's one of my favorite wrestlers, I could see Luke Harper maybe throwing Orton out, pissing off Bray Wyatt, and maybe him and Bray Wyatt go at it, because he already kicked Bray Wyatt in the face. I think Bray Wyatt already got some vengeance for that. I think he hit Luke Harper at some point on one of the recent SmackDowns. And following along with our Wyatt theme, we could maybe see the return of Eric Rowan. I'm not sure what his standing is with the company. I think he's out for an injury. He's been injured quite a bit, so they could potentially, not even care to bring him back because how often he gets injured. Or I don't even know if he's recovered from his injury. I don't even know if he's still an employee, but potentially we could see him come back. Maybe he debuts back in the Rumble, and then maybe the ongoing feud is him and Luke Harper versus Orton and Bray Wyatt, which would be good for both Luke Harper and Eric Rowan to give them some kind of a boost. Now this one's kind of a stretch, but it's Ric Flair coming out during the Rumble. Now there's been, as the picture we see on screen is the other day, there's a video that was put online of him deadlifting 400 fucking pounds, which I can't even do, and the dude's 60 or 70. But the idea behind the rumor was that since John Cena is going to tie his record, the idea, since him being the dirtiest player in the game, he was going to try to win the Rumble. That way he could go to WrestleMania and prevent John Cena from breaking the record. Or tying the record, whatever the case. I think it's a good idea. I'd love to see Ric Flair come back. I don't know. I doubt it will happen, but it's kind of a good idea. In similar fashion, we have HBK coming out during the Rumble. Now, this one's a little more likely, given that he's probably in better shape than Ric Flair is. But HBK did say after he retired that he was never going to wrestle again. But if the dollars are right, I'm sure he'd be willing to come back. I guarantee you he misses it. Every wrestler does, regardless of what they say. The crowd was cheering for him. If you watch the Raw where he promoted his movie, goddamn, everybody was cheering one more match. And you could kind of see it in his face that, I think part of him would like to. He doesn't have to come back at all. Everybody just wants him to come back during the Rumble. He'd throw out a few Sweet Chin musics, maybe eliminate a guy or two, and then get tossed out. I'm sure there's plenty of low-level wrestlers who wouldn't mind being thrown out of the Rumble by HBK. Now, this one could go either way. Both of these dudes, Goldberg and Lesnar, could easily win the Rumble. That's the thing with this year's Royal Rumble. There's so many options of who could win it. It's just kind of out there. It's all up to speculation and guessing. But the idea, the big rumor was that maybe they'd eliminate each other because they're such dominant forces. They need to have a one-on-one match anyway to actually, to finish their feud. That maybe they both, I don't know, we don't know the entrance numbers or who's coming out when, but if they're both in the ring together, maybe they destroy a bunch of people, maybe eliminate a good handful, but maybe they finally clash because they hate each other, and maybe they tumble out over the ropes and get eliminated or something like that, because it's not really feasible that anybody would eliminate them. They're pretty much like, at this point right now on WWE, they're probably the two strongest guys, just in terms of who's the best on the rosters. One of the big rumors coming for the Rumble is that Braun Strowman might win this thing, which I just don't see yet. They have booked him strong because he hasn't actually lost a match other than being eliminated at Survivor Series and that countdown, that time limit thing with Sami Zayn. But other than those, I don't think he's lost a match yet. So he's definitely booked strong, but he's only beat up on like Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, and some jobbers. So I just can't see him winning the Rumble. Maybe WWE views him in a different light, but me as a fan, he just doesn't seem strong enough yet. Like he hasn't beat on any other mid-carders. I don't even think Sami Zayn and Sin Cara are considered mid-carders. Those are like low-card dudes. He hasn't beat up on any mid-card guys. Like I don't know, any kind of like intercontinental United States champion area people. But don't be surprised if this Sunday you see a similar scene as this picture at the Royal Rumble. Next up, we have my dude Kurt Angle, probably either my first or second favorite wrestler ever. The first spot kind of changes as time goes on, so I never know who's my favorite. But we know that this year he's being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. The thing is, though, Kurt Angle's not contracted under any promotions. He's just kind of doing indie shows these days. So if WWE wanted to put him in the Rumble and he wanted to be a part of the Rumble, there's nothing stopping him. It's all he got to do is sign the dotted line, get the paycheck, whatever. Now, the rumor is that Vince McMahon doesn't want Kurt Angle to wrestle in WWE because the wear and tear on his body, that one wrong bump could end his career and his life, whatever the case. But Kurt Angle's out here destroying the fucking indie scene. If you watch like some of the indie shows or WCPW on YouTube at all, like What Culture Pro Wrestling, you know that Kurt Angle is perfectly okay. Maybe he can't do moonsaults and stuff anymore. I don't know when last time was that he did a moonsault, but he doesn't need to do that in a Royal Rumble match anyway. And the idea is that he's probably going to have one more match anyway at Mania, and the Royal Rumble would be a place to set the groundwork for that match. However, whoever eliminates him or whatever the case. The thing I probably want to see most is Finn Balor return. I'm pretty sure at this point in time he's said that he's not recovered. But the thing is, Finn Balor's one of those type of dudes that likes to fuck with people on the internet, Twitter, and stuff like that. He likes to say, he teased his Raw debut like months before he ever even did it. He was talking about Raw all the time on Twitter, but he didn't even debut till months later. So he's constantly likes to fuck with the fans and stuff like that. He's a pretty healthy guy. As long as he's doing his, rehabilitation, I could see him come back a little early. It was rumored he's supposed to be out for like 6 months, which would put him about at the Rumble. So we'll see how things go. If his music hit, dude, he would get such a good pop. And I'll put it this way, if Finn Balor returns at the Rumble, my money is on him winning it, because that way he can go back for the Universal title that he didn't actually lose. He had to forfeit because he was injured. So if Finn Balor comes back at the Rumble, I can almost guarantee you he'll win it. And this one is the most likely, and that is Samoa Joe debuting at the Rumble onto the main roster. Whether or not he would win it, that's kind of up there again. Like we said, this year's Rumble is kind of up in the air. There's so many options of who could win and go on to do what. But this is almost guaranteed to happen. He's kind of got out of the title picture on NXT. I don't know if he's on NXT like weekly because I don't watch NXT. But I know that it's Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura right now that are kind of feuding. So I could see him coming, debuting at the Rumble. It's probably the most popular, most common thing, other than maybe like Ty Dillinger coming out at number 10. And if he comes out, he's definitely a favorite to win it and go into Mania. Maybe the speculation was that it'd be like Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles potentially for the title, or Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus John Cena in a triple threat, which Joe could definitely do. He's definitely up there. He's definitely going to be a main card star, just like Finn Balor when he come up to the main roster. If I had to just throw out a guess, it'd be either of these two right here, Undertaker or Goldberg. With Goldberg, dude, he is the most over guy right now. Undertaker's still up there. He still gets his really great cheers and shit. But Goldberg is by far the most over guy right now. And if you want to get the biggest pop at the end of the night, it's Goldberg winning the whole thing, because everybody loves Goldberg right now. But that being said, he already kind of got a big win by destroying the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar in convincing fashion. So I could see him not winning this because of that. And he's gonna be at Mania regardless, because after Survivor Series he signed a contract for 3 more appearances at Rumble, at Roadblock in some capacity, whether it be a match or not, and at Mania. So he's going to be at Mania regardless. And then with Undertaker, that was the odds-on favorite, but it seems like the plans have changed, like I said before, because it's supposed to be him versus John Cena. But he's still, if you want the biggest pop, it's either Goldberg or Undertaker, because Undertaker's still so over after all this time. And I wouldn't mind seeing Taker win it, man. I'd like to see him get one more title shot and one more title match. Hopefully win the title before he retires. And that's it for my kind of predictions or wish list, whatever you want to call this. I'm not even sure what to call it. We still have a Raw and a SmackDown again before Rumble even happens. And if enough stuff is switched around, enough stories develop or stuff like that, we might do an update video sometime before Royal Rumble actually happens. And I'll tell you my ideas then. And you guys let me know what you think below. I don't know. This is my first wrestling video. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that I tweet about wrestling almost every fucking week, pretty much every Monday and Tuesday. So it's nothing new. It's new to the channel, but it's not new to me if you guys follow me on social media. Let me know what you guys think below. Let me know your predictions, your wish lists, things you want to see, things you think will happen, all that shit. If you want to enjoy the video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.